So it's delayed. The two things. Yeah. Delayed. Usually, like right before 6, you have to make sure you hit start streaming for the go live to show up over here. But you have to hit streaming on here before you open this up for the cameras to stream on here.
You want to write me a how-to guy?
Really loud out here.
At this time, I'll call to order the Campbell County Board of Education meeting for September 18, 2023, 6 p.m. at the Elementary Educational Center. The first item on our agenda is to approve the agenda.
I would recommend approval of the agenda as presented.
For the recommendation from our superintendent, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll move to approve the agenda.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Next, we have our Pledge of Allegiance and mission statement. Our pledge will be read by Deborah Wallace, and our mission statement by Chris Farwell.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The mission of the Campbell County School District, in partnership with students, staff, parents, and community, is to do whatever it takes to ensure our students' success in college, career, and life.
Thank you both. Next, we have our stars. Courtney Sauber, for the presenting. Would you like the board to move down front as we have done in the past or not?
I'm sorry.
Do you want us to move to the front again?
He is not here yet. So we hold on to this for next time.
Or if he arrives, we can stop it. Sure.
I'll go ahead and read. All right.
Then we don't have to move.
Campbell County Schools and CCHS would like to recognize Cole William Johnson as a National Merit semifinalist. Over 1.3 million juniors from approximately 21,000 high schools entered the 2024 National Merit Scholarship Program by taking the 2022 preliminary SAT National Merit Scholarship Qualifying Test, which serves as an initial screen of program interest. Those making the semifinalist group represent less than 1% of high school seniors. Congratulations to Cole. We are incredibly proud of him.
Thank you. Next, we have our communications. First are our audience comments. No one has signed up to speak tonight. So the next item will be our superintendent comments.
Hey, briefly, I just want to thank all of our schools and our families for the outstanding showing at the homecoming parade and game and other events that week. We had every school participate in our homecoming parade, and it was great to see such community pride.
Thank you. Next, we have our board member comments.
I actually was going to thank everybody for the Save the Parade. The overwhelming response, people were everywhere. It was really, really awesome. Proud to be a Campbell. Thank you.
And I can second that as well. It was my first one, so I was pretty excited to be involved in it, and I was pretty impressed with the turnout as well. So I appreciate everybody being there and coming out too, and the game was fun. So.
Sorry, it was wrong. I'd like to congratulate our Band of Pride on a nice performance on Saturday at the Bands of America Regional in Louisville. They took 5th place. Had a pretty stacked field. It was a good time, long day, good time. We didn't get any noise complaints because we didn't play in the morning.
And no voice.
Beautiful. Glad to hear that. All I got, homecoming was great. I missed it last year. It was good to be back this year. Nobody fell off a float, I don't think. It's always good.
Make it sound like that happens all the time.
I know I'm klutzy. There are other klutzy people. Anything. I had to fall off. I had a hard time getting home.
I had a step stool.
Just had to break the step stool.
Any comments, Mr. Mason? So again, congratulations on a win at the football game. That's always nice to have at homecoming. The parade was lots of fun. I felt like there was just so much energy and enthusiasm from everybody lining the streets, and we had enough candies, and decorations on our little float looked wonderful. So thank you for putting that all together. Your first time doing that for us, so we appreciate that as well. And congratulations to the band. Although Mr. Perkins commented that they were fifth overall, the four bands ahead of them are ones that are often in the top 10 or 15 nationally when they have the VOA Grand Nationals. And so they were in really good company to be fifth. So congratulations to everyone involved in that. So next we have our personnel actions, and the board accepts those as submitted. Our written communications and reports, our SBDM minutes, our Family Resource Youth Services Centers. I think they got them correct. They only give me the initials here, so I have to remember all of those reports. The Homeless Services reports, the People Personnel report, Public Relations report, the report of donations, school-related field trip notifications for both athletics and transportation, the district non-SBDM staffing, and the safety report. The next item would be our action agenda. The first one is the working budget.
Okay, so we have proud to present a strong working budget for 23-24. Each year in January, board will approve a draft budget, May a tentative budget, September a working budget, and that's what we have before you with a Fund 1 general fund budget balance of $54,069,092, a Fund 2, which is special revenue reflected in there. You also have capital outlay, building fund, and food service funds. Overall, our total budget, which includes all of these funds, is $72,559,472, which does give us a more than the required 2% contingency. A 2% contingency is $1,081,380 or 3,000. Excuse me, $1,081,382. Am I reading that correctly?
Yes, you're right.
I am reading it correctly. Dollars. Can't see. But we do have an actual contingency coming in at 12%, which is $6,482,999. With that, this working budget has worked in a $147 SBDM allocation to all of our schools, which is a total of $220,000. A $160,000 has been allocated for the teacher laptop initiative, and $500,000 has been allocated for the technology refresh that we have been talking about. And there's also $467,050 in capital outlay funds to purchase our school buses and to keep us on that rotation. So very strong working budget. Proud to be able to present that, especially considering we had over $2.2 million in staff raises included this year. So with that, I would recommend approval of the, excuse me, do you have any questions?
Or any comments? Just to point out the buses, that would be to purchase 4 buses.
4 buses,
Four
yes.
buses, and the buses are very expensive. Everybody in the community needs to know that, and they seem to be creeping up in cost a little bit each year, like so many other things. And special revenue is primarily grant funding or title funding that we get from the federal government. Is that correct?
Correct, Fund 2.
The Fund 2 special revenue, which Dr. Wilson mentioned is at $7 million. So a lot of people don't know what would be categorized as special revenue, and so that's funding that is designated for a very particular purpose, either the grant or federal title program. So we have to say that exactly as designated. And then technology refreshes are to upgrade the equipment in each of the classrooms. That 500,000 doesn't do all of them, but it gives us a good start.
Correct.
I think I've run out of comments. Now what is for your recommendation?
With no questions, no more questions or comments, would recommend approval of the 2023-24 working budget as submitted.
You've heard Dr. Wilson's recommendation. Is there a motion for the board to approve the working budget?
How would we approve the working budget for 2023-24?
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Mason?
Yes.
Mr. Perkins?
Yes.
Ms. Campbell?
Yes.
Ms. Schultz?
Yes.
Ms. Menders, yes. Next is the district calendar committee board representative for 25-26 school year.
So
Beginning
beginning
volunteer.
Be a volunteer, beginning with the 18-19 school year, and each year thereafter, according to statute, it does require the local board of education, upon recommendation of the superintendent, to annually appoint a school district calendar committee to review, develop, and recommend a school calendar options, keeping in mind the Board of Education does have the final approval there. The school district calendar committee means a committee consisting of one school district principal, one school district office administrator, and other than the superintendent, one member of the local board of education. That's what we will select tonight. 2 parents of students attending a school in the district, 1 school district elementary school teacher, 1 school district middle or high school teacher, 2 school district classified employees, and 2 community members from the local Chamber of Commerce, Business Community, or Tourism Commission. So that would be the makeup of the committee, and we need at this time a selection of the local board member. I'll do it. Anybody else?
You're good.
Okay, I'll do it.
Okay, we have a volunteer.
No.
Is there a motion to approve Ms. Schultz as the calendar committee board representative?
I'll move we appoint Ms. Schultz as the calendar committee board representative.
Is there a second?
One second.
Mr. Mason?
Yes.
Mr. Perkins?
Yes.
Ms. Campbell?
Yes.
Ms. Schultz?
Yes.
Ms. Menders, yes. Thank you for volunteering to do that.
Me and you, Sam.
I don't think we have a lot of meetings. They'll be meeting weekly or so. The next item on our agenda is the Perkins Innovation and Modernization Grant for 2024.
Okay, as you know, that anytime we apply for a grant, we come forward, a grant that would require positions, we do come forward and ask the board for approval to apply first. So we have before us the Perkins Innovation and Modernization Grant for career-connected high schools, and this is up to $4,425,000 over 36 months. There is a required match of $2,212,000 or $212,500 match of in-kind or cash. All of that will be existing, so there would be nothing additional to the district. We would go ahead and allocate current in-kind expenses toward career and technical education. And if anyone thinks, if you think about that, every career and technical education teacher, we could take that salary and apply that to it. So we already have a large in-kind match towards career and technical education. And the purpose of this grant program is to build the capacity amongst secondary education, post-secondary education, and workforce development systems, and to expand access to strategies and different activities which will improve and modernize career and technical education programs. So it is right in alignment with everything we are doing in our district to expand opportunities in the career and technical education area for our students.
Are there any questions or comments about the grant? obviously be wonderful if we would get that and be able to kind of double the money we're already spending on this. What's your recommendation?
So with that, I would recommend approval to pursue the Perkins Innovation and Modernization Grant for career-connected high schools.
So a motion from the board.
I'll move to approve the grant application for Perkins Innovation and Modernization Grant for career-connected high schools.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Schultz?
Yes.
Ms. Campbell?
Yes.
Mr. Perkins?
Yes.
Mr. Mason?
Yes.
Ms. Fender's yes. It didn't occur to me until I was doing the roll call. But you're not providing that.
My grandfather is also named Carl Perkins. I'm not related. Different. I just always thought that was kind of funny whenever that comes up.
The next item on our agenda is BG number 22-294, Campbell County Middle School renovations, change order number 4.
Hey, we never know what we're going to get as we work forward with these renovations. We do have another change order. This is change order number 4. It is for a total of $1,875, and this change order has all the information and conditions have been verified by Credell Construction, our architects and our engineers. But we are requesting this change order for the labor and material costs to replace 2 custodial closet mop sinks. In the construction, they basically fell apart and they can't connect to these mop sinks.
I wonder how old these mop sinks are.
The original one.
I'm assuming.
Yeah, we're not asking.
I think we got our use out of that.
With no questions, I would recommend approval of the change order number 4 for BG 22-294, Campbell County Middle School renovations as presented.
So a motion from the board.
I'll motion we approve the action change number 4.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Mason?
Yes.
Mr. Perkins?
Yes.
Ms. Campbell?
Yes.
Ms. Schultz?
Yes.
Ms. Fender's yes. The final item on our action agenda is a pilot agreement.
Okay, I have something before you that in most situations we try to say that we are working with a win-win situation with our community. We do have before you an agreement in lieu of taxes with Midland Atlantic Properties, and we have Midland Atlantic Properties representatives here as well as the attorney who worked with us on this agreement. So this agreement will help to generate additional revenue estimated at $10 million over 30 years for Campbell County Schools based on the PBA's assessed value of the improved property development by Midland Atlantic Properties. And I'm going to explain this as simply as I can, but it works in synergy with our SEEK formula that the state uses to fund schools. So Midland Atlantic Properties is in the process of acquiring property in Cold Spring. They are pursuing the funding of this development in coordination with the city using industrial revenue bonds. By doing so, the developer is eligible to put future tax savings toward the improvement costs of the property. As is typical in this type of arrangement, taxing districts recognizing the importance of both economic development and the risk taken by the developer, they pledge a certain amount of their tax revenue toward a project. Midland Atlantic Properties has reached out to Campbell County Schools asking for a pledge of future taxes. Campbell County can pledge the taxes to the developer that would otherwise be equalized by the state via the SEEK formula. This pledge will provide the school district with a payment in lieu of taxes, that's pilot, P-I-L-O-T, to provide revenue to the district based on the assessed value of the developed property. So this win-win situation, we hope, is an agreement where the Campbell County would agree to pledge 40% of the projected tax revenue. I'm sorry, that's Campbell County School Board. And in return for a pilot payment equal to 60% of the real property tax revenue. This agreement would also save the district from paying the current 1.5% tax collection fee, and the pilot would be paid out over the course of the IRB for up to 30 years. So ultimately, because of the seat calculations, the district is not losing any real revenue and will now receive additional revenue based on the improved status of the property that is estimated to become an $80 million development. The expected overall impact is estimated at an additional $10 million in revenue over the course of the 30 years. Basically, with this development and the pilot agreement, we would be bringing in the district would see an additional $10 million in revenue. Without these taxing arrangements, it would be difficult for the developer to complete this project. That is what our Midland developers have assured us of. Are there questions on all of that?
I think the documents that we have explain it very well, make it clear to us how that would work, and as you pointed out, because we do, with our seat calculations, immediately return about 30% of our property tax collections to the state. This allows us to do this without any loss of revenue to the district over that period of time of the agreement. I think I'm saying, I see some head nodding, I'm getting that. Right? I think it's always good to remind the community and people who work at the school that we don't get to keep all the property tax money that we collect. We have to send some of that to the state. So, any other questions or comments?
No, I was going to say the same thing. The documents we were provided are very helpful in understanding how this works. If the state ever corrects our seat equalization, maybe this will be a different discussion down the road. Where we are right now, it makes sense.
So we haven't gotten the county number yet on that. We have the city, those numbers are in. I'm sorry, I'm Jim Parsons. And but once we have the county number, we'll slip that in. So the county normally is not a part of the agreement. They don't like to be. But they will usually, if they're protected by the agreement, all the ones you approve, they have the same one.
Any other questions or comments? What is the recommendation?
I would recommend approval of the agreement in lieu of taxes with Midland Atlantic Properties as presented.
Heard Dr. Wilson's recommendation. Is there a motion for the board?
I'll move we approve the Midland Atlantic Properties Pilot Agreement.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Mason?
Yes.
Mr. Perkins?
Yes.
Ms. Campbell?
Yes.
Ms. Schultz?
Yes.
Ms. Fender is yes. Next on our agenda is our consent agenda. That includes our minutes, the agenda bills, the regular bills, treasurer's report, leave of absence request, the fiscal court transportation contract for the 23-24 school year, the McMinney Mental Homeless Grant Memorandum of Agreement for 23-24, the district calendar committee, which is now filled in with a board member, the Campbell County Technology Activity Report for fiscal year 23, out of district training expenses and training for board members for 2024, surplus of school buses, Kent County Schools Facility Rental Agreement, BG number 21-166, Campbell County Schools Roofing 2021, BG 5, that's a project closeout, and BG 22-2259, Campbell County Middle Schools Roofing 2022, BG 5, also project closeout. The district funding assurances for 2024. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda items?
I'll move. Shall we approve the consent agenda items?
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Schultz?
Yes.
Ms. Campbell? Mr. Perkins?
Yes.
Mr. Mason?
Yes.
Ms. Fender is yes. The next item on our agenda is adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn? Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.